Hi friends, let's continue. In the last video, we learned the theoretical part of covered interest rate parity and interest rate arbitrage. In this video, we'll explore the theory with examples. Here's an example. The interest rate of America is 5% per annum and British 10%. One certain day, the spot rate is £1 equals to 0.0000/50. The 1-year forward rate is £1 equals to 1.9600/60. Whether there exists a chance of arbitrage. How to operate? Before you do the calculation, please translate the information from words into mathematical symbols. In the example, the information given is written with mathematical symbol. Interest rate of dollar equals to 5%. Interest rate of pound equals to 10%. Spot rate equals to 2.0000/50 per pound. Forward rate equals to 1.9600/60 per pound. Then the difference in interest rate, the absolute of delta I equals absolute interest rate of pound minus interest rate of dollar equals 5%. The premier percentage of base currency. We use the middle rate to do calculation. The absolute of delta F equals the absolute of F minus S over S multiply 100% equals to the absolute of 1.9630 minus 2.0025 over 2.0025 multiply 100% equal to 1.97%. Since absolute value of delta I larger than absolute value of delta F, there exists chance of interest rate arbitrage. So we invest higher interest rate currency. Borrow $100 million, then calculate the interest rate arbitrage profit. Exchange $100 million into pound. You sell dollar and buy pound. Pound is the base currency. That's to say, the bank sells the base currency. So we use the bigger rate, $2.0050 per pound. Using $100 million divided by $2.0050 per pound, then invest pound deposit for 1 year. So you multiply 1 plus the pound interest rate 10%, that is 1.1. At the same time, sign a 1-year forward transaction contract to sell the 1-year pound capital and interest for $1. So multiply forward rate. Here you sell the base currency. The bank buy the base currency. We should use the smaller forward rate, $1.96 per pound. Then minus the cost of borrowing of $1. $100 million multiply 1 plus 5%, which is 1.05. The final result is $2.53 million. The question can be solved step by step also. The first step borrows $100 million for 1 year. The calculation of the cost is as following. We omit million when do calculation. Then $100 multiply 1 plus 5% equals $105 million. The second step, do spot transaction. Exchange $100 million per pound. $100 divided by $2.0050 per pound equals to 49.8753 million pounds. The third step, invest in UK bank deposit for 1 year. 49.8753 pound multiply 1 plus 10% equals to 54.86283 million pound. The last step, execute forward transaction, exchange back into dollar. 54.86283 multiply $1.9600 per pound equals $107.53 million. The profit should be $107.53 minus $105 equals to $2.53 million. Here is another example of covered interest rate arbitrage. Observe the picture and get the information of interest rates and spot rate and forward rate. With the information shown in the above picture, we can do the calculation. We need to calculate the difference in interest rates. The absolute value of delta I equals absolute value of interest rate of dollar minus interest rate of Japanese yen equals the absolute value of 8% minus 4% over 2 equals 2%. Here, we change the term of interest rate 1 year into half year because the forward rate is for half year, 180 days, right? Then we need to calculate the forward discount of the higher interest rate currency if it is in direct quotation. The absolute value of delta F equals to the absolute value of F minus S over S equals to the absolute value of 103.5 minus 106 over 106 equals to 2.36%. So, the absolute value of delta F larger than the absolute value of delta I. The conclusion is that we should invest in the lower interest rate currency. The exhibit illustrates the conditions necessary for equilibrium between interest rates and exchange rates. The vertical exercise shows the difference in interest rate in favor of foreign currency, and the horizontal axis shows the forward premium or discount on that currency. The interest rate parity line shows the equilibrium state, but transaction costs arise from foreign exchange and investment brokerage costs on buying and selling securities. From the picture we can see, from the abscissa, for the point X, we have delta F equals 2, F minus S over S equals 4%. From the ordinate for point X, we have delta I equals IF minus I equals negative 4%. Hence, we get I minus IF equals 4% equals F minus S over S, which is the covered interest rate parity. The meaning can be expressed as such. For X is on the line, which shows a possible equilibrium position, where a 4% lower rate of interest on yen securities would be offset by a 4% premium on the forward yen. Point U is located off the interest rate parity line, which shows a disequilibrium situation. The disequilibrium will encourage the interest rate arbitrage. It is because the lower interest on the yen is negative 4%, whereas the premium on the forward yen is slightly over 4.8%. The situation depicted by point U is unstable because all investors have an incentive to execute the same covered interest arbitrage. The net result of the disequilibrium is that fund flows will narrow the gap in interest rates and/or decrease the premium on the forward yen. In other words, market pressures will cause point U in the exhibit to move towards the interest rate parity band. Equilibrium might be reached at point Y or at any other locus between X and Z, depending on whether forward market premium are more or less easily shifted than interest rate differentials. In this video, we explored further the covered interest rate parity and covered interest rate arbitrage with examples. That's all for the section. Thank you.